Because you refuse to try.
I want to work, Mr. Kendall. I want to do what other people do. I just can't.
You can. Tom, you can be like other people. You can work, you can do whatever you want.
No, I can't.
Have you ever tried?
No.
Has your father ever asked you to?
No. I asked him once if I could help. I don't want to be a burden on him, though.
What'd he say?
He said it'd take too much time watching over me and making sure I didn't hurt myself. But he doesn't have much spare time, Mr. Kendall, and he works real hard. And besides, he says my being blind's just a fact. There's nothing neither of us can do about it. Paul will be coming soon. I'll wait outside. I'm not coming back, Mr. Kendall.
I lost him, Mary. You know, that's the first time I couldn't get through.
You did your best, Adam.
Well, I better tell Mr. Ames Tom won't be back to school.
Some bread, Adam? 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 You haven't touched your supper.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking.
You looked like you were a million miles away.
Oh, not nearly that far, Mrs. Ingalls.
The same problem, Ma.
Yes, he quit school today.
Aw. Any chance he'll be back?
No. I tried with him. I tried with his father. You know, what worries me most is what happens to him when his father's not there anymore.
Where does Pa going?
Carrie, everybody has to die someday.
Not Mom, Pa.
Carrie.
Laura, I think we can find something else to talk about.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry I brought it up, Mrs. Ingalls. No use feeling bad about something I can't do anything about.
That's how I feel about the game Saturday.
Well, practice didn't go too good, huh?
What practice? It was a disaster.
Without Luke Hoskins, we don't even have a team.
What we really need is a big guy for the point of that feed.
Well, can't you rely on tricky plays, or what about speed?
No. They've had all year to practice. We only have a week. With Luke, all we had to do was hold on and go straight.
Well, what you need is another big kid. Who's the biggest kid in your school?
Cindy Lou Heron. She's not allowed to play. There just aren't any big boys around here.
Yes, there is. One. His name's Big Dumb Luke Hoskins, and he's playing for the Dakota Dragons.
Mr. Ingalls, could you give me a ride out to the Carlin farm tomorrow morning before school?
Well, sure enough. Would you change your mind about trying to get Tom back in school?
Yes, sir. Seems with all the troubles the Winoka Warriors are having, it just doesn't seem right for me to give up.
Morning, Mr. Carlin.
Good morning.
Mr. Carlin, I've got to talk to you about Tom.
I've said everything that could be said.
Not by a far sight, you haven't. A lot more has to be said and done.
I've heard everything I'm going to hear about the boy.
That's the problem. You haven't really heard anything. You've shut your ears and closed your eyes. You know, in some ways, you're blinder than Tom is.
I'm not going to listen.
Take me to him, Mr. Ingalls.
I'm with you, son.
I told you I've heard enough.
Look, I understand how you feel, Mr. Carlin. Because after I went blind, my father treated me the same way you're treating Tom. As if he was some kind of freak. As if he'd committed some kind of unforgivable sin just by losing his sight. You're ashamed of him, aren't you?
He's my son.
Yes. That makes it worse, doesn't it? It makes you feel guilty. You don't like that feeling.
I'm taking care of him the best I can.
And what happens to him after you're gone? Who's gonna take care of him then if he can't fend for himself?
I send him to school.
Why? Why did you send him?
I told you, because I promised his mother.
I think you're a liar.
How dare you say that to me?
I said it once to my own father. I can say it to you.
I love my son.
And I love my father. But when you live in the dark, the only light there is truth. You're no different than my father, Mr. Carlin. You sent Tom to school so you wouldn't have to look at him.
No.
Oh, in the name of God, would you tell the truth? At least then we can have some kind of beginning. You think you're the only human being in the world who ever felt this way. If you just say it once, I can't stand to look at my son. Just say it. I can't stand to look at my son.
I can't stand to look at my son. God forgive me. I'm sorry.
Now we can both help him.
What can we do?
First, give him a feeling he's a man. That he can accomplish something. Anything. That he's not as different as he thinks he is. But we can't do that, Mr. Carlin, unless we get him back to school. And that's up to you. You can make him.
He's in the house. I'll go get him.
You really are something, son.
Stop at the livery school, please, Mr. Ingalls.
I don't understand.
You will, Mr. Ingalls. You will.
In 1869, women's suffrage was enacted by Wyoming Territory, the first political body to take that step. Most men assumed the ladies would stay at
Excuse me.
home.
Sorry to interrupt your class, Mrs. Garvey, but I'd like to introduce a new temporary student, Tom Carlin. Laura, Albert, you said you needed a big man for your team? Well, you got one.
All right, team, let's get into that V formation. Tom, I want you to get right here. Here's the ball. Feel that? Get down. Down. Now, when Albert says ball, you hand the ball right back to there. You feel that? And then you plow straight ahead. Right straight ahead.
I can't do it, Mr. Garvey.
Sure you can, son. You got the size and the strength. All you need now is the drive.
But I can't see anything.